In case you didn't fully comprehend what I was saying in my last two videos, the meaning of life isn't some mysterious, complicated thing. It's actually simple, just like nature is. And there's been many people who have talked about it, it's just that it's been suppressed. When people say the meaning of life, by life they mean this reality, which is an illusion. So the question then is, what's the meaning of the illusion? Life is a game, and the meaning given by nature is to play. Essentially, is that simple. And to go in further, it is to express imagination and the infinity of creation, the infinite possibilities. It's a gathering of imaginations. What this is, just like the song by Decrepit Birth. And the lyrics of Essence of Creation, I use those songs in Mix 9. You should read them. He wrote those lyrics on drugs and read a lot of books, but somehow combined those things and came out with those lyrics, which are right at the core of it all. So this is an expression of imagination, and we are here to go further and go on with the imagination of creation. So nature as such is quite simple, and the purpose or meaning of life was quite simple. As I've explained in my videos, now people follow man-made illusions and are part of the imagination that has gone away from nature, all the unnatural things. So in Christianity, when people are taught about Jesus, as I talked about in my last video, for them it's quite interesting that there was this man and their whole life is based on it. This is what makes their life interesting, meaningful. It's this imagination which was created by other men, but they are longing for this experience, their souls are. So usually this is why talking to people who are caught up in these illusions is quite useless in the end, except if they want to change it themselves, because they want to experience this. So for them, having this worldview of good and bad, positive, negative, yin-yang, absolute nonsense. This is all absolute nonsense. All the religions, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, absolutely man-made fabrications, imaginations of man. So as I've very clearly explained, there is no such thing, everything simply is. But for them to view the world as there is God against Satan is very interesting, and they want to experience the world this way because they want to gather the experience. Why do you, when you play some game, choose a special character? Because you want to experience this created reality through them. Some may say, why do I have this strange mark on my face, or why does my nose look like this? Physically looking, you do not realize it. Your soul, or call it whatever you want, your player of the character wants to experience that. But for you, when you're so caught up in the physical and in this illusion, it's not comprehensible, or whatever the word is, because you not fully understand, let's just put it like that, what is going on, and that it's simply an experience. But when you're caught up in this negative, positive thing, it's very easy to not realize what is going on, that it's simply the experience of it. So what about blood, pain, suffering? I've already talked about this, but realize this. In another kind of reality, let's say on another planet, beings from there could be programmed to experience blood in a completely different way. So if they would see somebody cut up into pieces and blood everywhere, for them that could make them laugh, for example, or infinite things could happen, because the possibilities are infinite, the possibilities of imagination and creation, of playing. So for us who are caught up in this illusion, it is the way it is. So what about all of those supposed reports of the Illuminati, people in power, raping babies, using baby blood for a lot of things, setting out naked children and hunting them in the forest? If this is true, if it actually happens, for them it's something completely else than for us. However, most of the people who are into reading these sort of things and into these conspiracies, hopefully most of them have this worldview of good and bad, positive, negative, blah blah blah. So when you're caught up in that, obviously you will likely believe that they are satanic or something like that, when in reality those people surely, and it's obvious, realize that there is no positive and negative, and that whatever they do only have consequences, and this reality, universally, what they're doing, using blood as for whatever, as whatever, has no actual meaning. And on any other planet, any other reality, it would have no meaning at all, or it would have some other meaning. However, this is the major brainwash of today, and there is no end. That's how it is. Also, what about our perception of size? Many may not want to believe that animals or insects have anything like a soul because of their size. This is a complete illusion like everything else. From their perspective, in their perception of their senses, their reality is just as real as ours. For them, we may be giants. However, in another reality, there could be beings, and I'm not joking now, billion times bigger than us, quite literally, or billion times smaller than us. However, for them, their reality would still be their reality, because they would not have anything to compare their perception of themselves to. So only in comparison does size work. So anything could have this living energy, anything. It really does not matter what size it is. It's an absolute illusion. It's hard for me to put it in words because I go there and visually see it in some way, but there's just an infinite possibility of creation. And as I already talked in my last video about those symbols, the very interesting Illuminati symbol of the pyramid and such, while sun gazing, I obviously realize that the all-seeing eye is the sun. If you have ever taken a photograph, or if you have sun gazed, you likely realize that the sun is just like an eye. There's a black dot in the middle. It's how it appears, both with our senses and the sense of the camera. And it also has the 6 points, which a lot of symbols are based off. The male sun and the potent one, and the moon, the female one. Most of the symbols you see nowadays are not that interesting at all in that sense as what they're made out to be. It's actually just things based off of simple nature. But once you see through that, it's not that intriguing anymore. But what it represents is simply what I never talk about, because it doesn't interest me very much. The other eye, the inner eye, the first eye, or some call it the third eye, the pineal gland, with which you can achieve a lot of things in this physical reality. But there's also some other stuff which I may talk about when I talk about sun gazing. But essentially that, and all of the nonsense like yoga, is to achieve other levels in this reality, which is not appealing at all to me. Once you see through the illusion, to many people it is. So that's what it represents. That's why it's a pyramid triangle. There's more reasons why it's a pyramid, but that's essentially what it is, the all-seeing eye. And that's why our eyes are like worlds, 2 worlds within worlds, because it looks the same way as the sun. That's what it's supposed to. That's why we're supposed to look at the sun. It's quite simple. Nature is so simple. It's just funny. Once you realize that all of this secret society stuff is just a lot of simple things based off of nature, really loses its meaning completely. But that's another thing. Just like people caught up in religions, following this Illuminati stuff, and all of these conspiracies, maybe very interesting, and I still like to talk about to people about 9/11 and such for different reasons. Maybe just to make people think, but of course that's also part of it all, of this man-made illusion to make life more interesting. So the meaning of life is to play. Just to make things clear, some additional things. I've talked about this so many times now, likely this is the last time you will hear me talking about it, but what has been done essentially is put all these expressed emotions into categories, which makes people unhappy, as I talked about in my video about happiness and what it really is. So the same people who talk about chakras and such have been conditioned by it, believing that it's some mystical thing, when in reality it's just a lot of purely physical points of where the blood flows, a lot of organs and such, how the body works. So much garbage. So by categorizing this, they have many people very controlled, because all of these things come naturally, and of course you're never going to stop expressing it